Okay, here we are with the Sturginium Skies 2-player set, and as you can see it's filling up the whole screen, and my camera's a decent way from the desk, so it's a big old box. Gorgeous picture on the front showing the baddies. Well, they are as far as I'm concerned, because I'm going to do Crown, but they're the Imperium on the front, and got some in the background we've got some of the Crown items, but obviously just beautiful Zeppelins. I mean, kind of like Flash Gordon-y sort of style smaller ships, and that thing is just looks so good in the pictures I've seen. So we can see here we've got what's included in the set, so we can see there's the Crown and Imperium in here. Again, the box has beautiful embossed inners. Let's turn it over to see the contents. And what a beast we have. So I like this, it's got kind of like the faded images of all the different factions, but then the ones that are actually included are highlighted, so it's cool. You can see here we've got what you get for the Imperium over here, and what you've got for the Crown over this side. So straight away we can see that the Imperium have a big beast in their fleet. But I think, I guess the Brits have the numbers. Looking at it, I could see there's quite a lot of numbers here, but I don't think these smaller ones are necessarily ships. I think they're more like escorts, which are kind of more supporters rather than individual units. But yeah, looking forward to giving it a go. We've got, obviously, should have some tokens, the rule set, the dice, critical dice and the action dice, templates, and the victory and valors cards. And this was kind of the reason I got this set: A, because the models look fantastic, but B, well, you obviously need all of these items. You can get the starter sets for a faction, so you can go about it that way, buy a faction, and you should get some dice, cards, and a rule set for enough for one person. But in here, A, I get 2 fleets, so I can get my friends involved. We can play each other, but you get 2 sets of cards with this as well, and obviously probably enough dice for 2 people. And it was a good way of getting all the flyer sort of options for the Brits, for the Crown. Sorry, I keep saying Brits, so if you forgive me for Crown. And it's quite important to say Crown, because these are actually Canadian vessels, and so are the subs. So technically this is going to be a Canadian fleet versus the Imperium, and I think in the background the Imperium are attacking Canada via Greenland, I think, or Iceland, or one of them, or some land. Let's open it up and have a look. So take the sleeve off, and once again we are greeted by just a fantastic, consider it's just an inner box, and you don't see that really until you've taken it off. It's just so nice. So that's, I guess, in the War Cradle Studios symbol. I really should know that, shouldn't I? I can confirm it there. So it is definitely War Cradle Studios symbol. It looks so good. And there we can see it's all embossed on the side as well. It's just extra attention to detail. So what have we got? Look at this, full to the very brim, as in not only the brim, actually overflowing. So it is jam-packed with stuff. We have this thing. This is advertising that Armour Clash, which I know nothing about, but I'm excited to find out about. Okay, we've got the tokens. So good thick card. Plenty of tokens there. I think this stands for obscured. I think these are your kind of critical conditions or conditioned cards, like hazard and things. It's almost like the morale of your crew and the status of your ship. And I guess this might signify number of fleets. So if you've got some duplicate fleets, probably easy to identify them with those, I would guess. We have the rule book, so version 3.05, which is good, because I didn't know what version is the latest version of the book, but what I do know is the Orbat that I've currently downloaded from their website. on July 24 is 3.06. So at least I know this rule book is pretty close to the date of the ORBAT that's been updated, which is good because I'm coming to Dystopian Wars quite new. I don't know. I know that of the game. I kind of saw the game. It's been out for a long time via a different manufacturer originally, Spartan Games, who I think should close down. I knew War Cradle had took it over vaguely yonks and yonks ago, and it looked interesting, but something didn't quite do it for me. Mostly, to be honest, the models, but the way that War Cradle have knocked out the park with their models, their designs, sorry, I'm just going to get rid of that box because it keeps falling down, probably making a racket. It's just took it to a whole new level. It just looks so good. I love fleet games. Just something about fleet games that just really, I don't know, just feels such a good thing to play. And looks good on the board, and lots of lovely artwork in this book as well. And this is going to be quite good as well. I guess we've got a little bit of history about them all. So I have looked a bit on the line to learn about some of it. But I'm going to be looking forward to reading all the background details. So I'm not going to go into it in this video, but yeah, there's quite a rich story and background of why we are where we are with this kind of dystopian age and the technology, how it's all come about. And let's just say there was things found in Antarctica. So what have we got? So we've actually got some shrink wrapped and heat shrinked sprues, which is, I can understand really, because it's so tightly packed. They've probably got to do that to keep it all together and make it fit nicely. So we'll get into those into a second. Jeez, let's just look at the amount of sprues we've got there. Firstly, we have the movement tool, the torrent and blast templates, and the turn tool. So I don't know if you know much about the movement mechanics, but obviously we can move straight so many inches depending on your statistic of your ship or airship or vessel or whatever, but your turning is carried out using this turn tool, and obviously the more further you can go around this tool, the more agile your ship or vessel's going to be. So it's a good way of indicating agility. We have the 2 Valor cards, big thick cards, big decks, so enough for 2 people there, which is cool. You can see the kind of things that they would do. So the way these work, you've got 2 versions of the card. You can only use one of the options. This one called Victory will generally give you victory points. So destroy a mass 1 unit in a shooting attack this turn and score 1 victory point. So we can play this card to earn a victory point immediately. Or you can do something like a bit of a boost for your unit. So gain +1 speed during the movement phase. This one's called a Valor. Now these are only strength, well, I say strength, but that symbol there signifies kind of like, say, the initiative value or the strength or the resource of that card. So a lower card generally does kind of not as powerful things, but it's easier to block them as well because your opponent can play a card higher than that number, then they can block that card. And it's used for other things like your initiative as well, for first turns and things. So it's quite like a multi-purpose in that card. So it's cool. So you've got to decide sometimes, do I want to save it for the victory point, or do I need a boost to my fleet ability now? So it's quite a nice mechanic. I do enjoy that. So that's dice again, they're nicely packed into sets for each player. So we have action dice and critical dice. So these dice, you don't roll these, but these, do you roll these? Yes, you do roll these, and whatever you roll is the critical damage you've suffered, and then you put it down as a marker next to your ship. Then just to highlight what critical what critical effect your vessel currently has. And these are the action dice. There's no like D6 dice as such. There's just these, and these are your hits, they're your defense, and they do some other things as well. So, you know, rolling on reserves, you need to get a certain roll and things like that. Assault dice and all sorts of things. So nice, again, really cool mechanic. Maybe that if we do some battle reports in the future, we'll be able to see it in play. But yeah, cool. And then we've got some flight stands, some different types, which is nice. Give you some options of how to mount things. And some bases. So only 4 bases. Looks to be a lot more than 4 flying vessels. So I am assuming we've got some SRS bases as well. So I'm assuming that these are just the larger ones which are loose, and somewhere in here will be smaller ones for the other vessels. So let's open it up and have a look at some sprues. Ooh, let's get in there. So I think this is going to be, oh no, it's not all crown. So I could see some crown on the top. I wondered if it's all crown, but it's not. It is a mixture. And I've already answered my question about bases because I can see it on the next sprue down. Ooh. Release. There we go. So what have we got on this sprue? We have, I'm going to be quite awful with the names, but we have, I think that's the Saxon Flyer, and that's a Tintagel battle rotor, I believe. Hull. We've got the rotors for the larger one, and I'm guessing that's the floor of it, but it's kind of a boat look about it. Oh, so I'll show you some pictures. So what we're looking at here is these are the smaller Saxons. This larger one here is this Tintagel, something like that. And then this one here with the large wing rotors here, it's up here, which is the Prydain. So it looks like we make 1 Prydain, 2 Saxons, and 1 Tintagel from this sprue. And as we've got 3 Prydains, I would imagine we've got 3 of these sprues somewhere. Next, so there we go. So yeah, some more loose ones. We've got some large and small. Didn't always knew War Cradle wouldn't let me down. I didn't doubt it for a second that there'd be some missing. So there we go. There's the second one of those. More stands, and the third one of those. So I'd assume that's. Oh, there we go. And more sea stands. So then we're down to some Imperium ships now. So it looks like there's got a couple of cruisers in here, or 1 cruiser at least. 1 cruiser, a couple of frigates. So what have we got on the Imperium side? Let's get you the pictures. So the cruisers are, where are the cruisers? Are they not on that picture? How bizarre. That's very strange. That doesn't show the cruisers. Yeah, so it should have 2 Ritus cruisers. So it doesn't actually show on there. Does it show on the picture on the front? No. That's strange. I wonder if it was added after they did the imagery, possibly. Which is cool if they did, because I got even more stuff. So we have a cruiser anyway, and we have frigates, which are also not shown on here. How bizarre. Okay. Yep. 1 cruiser, 2 frigates, 2 SRS tokens. We've got kind of fighters and bombers on there. So they have special rules on their bombers. You have to get rid of all the fighters before you can get rid of the bombers, and the bombers hit pretty hard from what I've looked. And various weapon options. So we've got 1 of those sprues, some more flight stands, and another one of those sprues, which would make sense. That would give us our 2 cruisers and our 4 frigates, which are not shown in imagery on the back, but are listed here. 2 cruisers and 4 Jaeger aerial, no, aerials. 2 cruisers and there 2 Sturginium destroyers. Sorry, 4 Sturginium destroyers. Okay, more flight stands, and here's the aerial cruisers. Ooh. So 2 sprues of this one and this one's exactly the same. So again, another SRS token, and this looks to possibly make, is that just one airship? One large airship, I think, yeah. And 2 of the smaller airships. I don't know the Imperium very much, but I would guess it's going to be 1 Kriegsstorm assault airship and probably 2 Jaeger aerial fast destroyers. So we're looking at possibly 1 of these and 2 of these in this set, and it looks like we've got some of the little escorts as well. So there are 4 aerial escorts. So it looks like we've got 2 of those on this sprue as well. So 2 of those sprues, so that would give us our 2 cruisers, 4 escorts and 4 aerial frigates. Oh, okay, so it looks like the camera cut off for some reason. So we finished the that sprue there with the air assault ships. So in the next set of sealed sprues we have the Canadians. So on the sprue here we can see we've got the Canadian cruiser, 2 Orc subs, and an SRS token. So as usual, obviously you're going to get all your different options, different weapon options and different ways you can build your cruisers. I think the Orcas only come in 1 version, but with 1 cruiser, 2 Orcas, with 3 sprues we can get 3 cruisers and 6 Orcas from these sprues. So we've got 3 of those. Quick look at the contents. Again, crisp details. 1, 2, 3, and then in that sprue we have the Big Daddy itself. So we've got a gigantic, I don't know if this is on the recording that cut out or the previous recording, we've got big sea stand, and then we've got the Dark Destroyer or Stark Imperium, Stark Industries airship itself. So this is really cool. Now we've got 2 sprues for this because it's so big, and there is some duplication of the sprues. They're actually identical sprues, so it does actually mean you'll have some, for example, if you make the fleet carrier version, you're actually going to have still left over a fleet carrier version and 2 of these decks, which does actually mean you can use these for scenery. So you could maybe make some islands and plug this in and have like an Imperium island somewhere with an airfield on it, or break them up and have some debris fields. So it's quite cool, you know. Don't just throw them away. I think that we can get some use out of these extra components still. I think I quite like the idea of making an island with an airfield on it and using that for sticking out of the jutting out across the water from the island or something. So yeah, really good. So that's a big old sprue there. And that is a big old box set. Let's get rid of that. Oh, and bring this back in. So that is the Sturginium Skies 2-player starter set. Like I said, there's actually more than what this image shows you, because it doesn't show you the 2 Reiter cruisers and the 2 Sturginium destroyers in this image. So the Imperium's actually an even bigger set than this image looks. Whether that's a balanced list, you know, whether it's even or not, I don't know. Don't really care. It can be quite good fun anyway. But one thing I think it does show with a lot of two-player starter sets, you kind of get kind of a taster force, really. That's not really, you know, it's okay for 1 or 2 games as you learn in the game, but very quickly you need to add to it. I don't think that is the case with this. These feel like 2 fleshed out fleets already. When you've got submersibles, cruisers, and 3 different types of flyers over here, heavy flyers and some scout flyers and light flyers. And then over here again you've got huge fleet carrier, assault cruiser airships, you've got surface-based cruisers as well, which aren't listed, surface frigates and air frigates, and escort tokens. You've just got quite a lot of the options that you can actually get in the game. So you got a nice entry point to trying out each kind of unit type just in this one box set. So I think it's a fantastic box set. I've not even played the game, but I'm already excited by it. Artwork looks great. The models are crisp and clean. They look really good. The value seems really good. Just going above and beyond with the embossed inserts. It is it's just a high attention to detail, shall we say. You know, they've gone above and beyond what they need to do. And I think really the game needs to get some love because it really deserves it. I have read the rules, and the rules sound really, really good. There's a lot of options, so it's quite you need to be let's say a bit of a seasoned gamer, or at least be willing to read a lot of text to you know, I think it needs to all sink in. Some reference cards are going to be essential because there's a lot to learn, but at the same time that's the type of game I like, you know, something you can really get your teeth into with loads and loads of options. You can just play different each time, and yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. Hopefully soon we'll see some videos of me making and painting some of these, and possibly battle reports. I'd really love to do some battle reports. So the reason I got the 2 starter set is so I can give my friends and colleagues the Imperium and we can have a game. So let's I guess watch this space. Right, thanks for watching. Just, you know, if you're into Dystopian Wars and you want to see some more content, then consider subscribing, and then at least if I do put up another video, you'll see it pop up. All right, take care, see you again soon.